This morning I played some more with my canvas, and I went out and got some instant coffee because did I have instant coffee? No, I did not. Welcome to my channel. This is Darcy's Misadventures with Mixed Media. And here are the results of I've been kind of putting this into big pieces, and then I'll cut it up to make covers later, and I've just been having fun. I will probably add some mark making to this, maybe in the style of oh, what's her name, Mary Lloyd Jones, maybe something, I don't know. I just really like the grunginess of this. So this will get cut down at some point and make some covers. So that was the biggest piece. Oh, and then there was also, you know, I kind of had this laying underneath for a couple of them. You'll probably be able to tell which one in a minute. Let's see, should I do these in the order that I made them? I don't know. And then this one has acrylic inks, and then the coffee, and also the little white splatters you see are the pumice stone of this, and the what is this, white linen of the dilutions, just to give it, because when you add it when it's wet, it does some really cool things. So this is another one, and this could potentially make 2 covers for a smaller journal, or make 1 big cover for a bigger journal. And then this one back here, there's some brown paint, which is the Ground Espresso Distress paint, and that blue-black paint is the Payne's Gray and the golden. So I just kind of like squirted it all over, and then I would take, well, this is actually the watercolor canvas. So I did that and just kind of like smushed it on and turned it, and that way you get some shadowing too, but I didn't turn it in the same direction. And I also have some other papers that I did that with too. So you'll see some papers that also got dyed from the process of this. And then this is the last one. I don't think you can see the rose, like I used the muted violet, I think is what I used, and the ink. And then this red here is the naphthol red, and the golden, and the black is the carbon black of the same, of the high flow acrylics. The high flow acrylics are the easiest to do that with, because you know they've already got a little thing. I'm like, why didn't I think about that earlier? But you know, when you're using like anything like this, you just get kind of bigger blobs. But even with the black one, I got bigger blobs, but still makes some interesting things. And then with the bronze, is that bronze? Yes, the iridescent rich bronze. I had these drying outside, so I just like drops from way up high, so it's really random where they dropped. So that's all the fabric that I made. And then, you know, we've got the drop papers and whatnot. So I laid, when this was drying, I laid this on top of it, and some of the other ones I laid stencils on top of. You just have to be careful, because if there's paint on the stencil or paint in what you're drying, you could end up with issues. So you can see the violet a little bit more in here, and that's this is the coffee, you know, when it dries. And so if that gets wet, the coffee's probably gonna spread some more. And that's where I had with the naphthol red and the carbon black, had gotten some on there. And then this one, I have a homemade stamp. There it is. And I just put that on top of that while it dried. And I was able to dry these all outside, and I made them and dried them within a 2-hour period, less than 2-hour period, because it was so sunny. It's not sunny anymore. It looks like it's about to rain, which kind of makes me want to take some papers outside and lay them out, but it's windy. And then just do coffee grounds on them as it rains on them. Like, that would be mass making. And there's another one that I put. So yeah, the stencil did kind of stick in a couple places. Excuse me. And I sprayed the white after the stencil was on there, so the white's only going to show where the opening of the stencils were. So while they were drying, I had put stencils on them. I don't have any problem with that when I'm just using inks, but because there was the coffee, and some of these have some paint in them, you know, the golden paint or Also, I had used Van Dyke Brown Golden Fluid Acrylic in a couple places too. But I love the results. And so, you know, fortunately I was able to get the stencil unstuck. And it didn't live there forever. So there's another one of those. And then I had a piece of tissue. That one did get stuck. I had a stencil on there. You can actually only see a small, tiny bit of the stencil there. And you would have seen a stencil there, except for that's still attached to this stencil, but some water will get that off. And then just some drop papers. So I will do, and then these were drop papers that I used to pick up the thing. I think I have one piece left of that, or I could even use of the canvas. I'm trying to say the word canvas, people. That was the other drop paper. So I'm gonna leave this here. I could have sworn I had one more piece of canvas, but I think I want to see how the duck cloth does. So this is so I can show you the process. This is kind of big, but that's okay. And I'll grab another piece because I might want another piece just for after I do the whatever. This might be easier. Hold on. Yep. And I don't need quite big a piece. I'm just kind of showing you the process that I did. It'll be quick. Oh, and on this one, I saw the leaves, so I just added with black Posca pen and made it put more leaves on it, because why not? So I'm gonna make this. Oh no, I'm not doing the wet. I do. If I'm doing the coffee first, I do the wet. Oh, let's see. I was gonna maybe do some quinacridone, nickel azo gold, which is probably gonna be. I need to like save these bottles when they're empty, because then I can use them as a squirter thing. She says, there we go. Oh, just need to be able to see it. So, you know, that's way more than I need, but that's okay. And you can see where it was wet, it's starting to spread. That's why I did not want to do that yet. That was a mistake on my part. So if I were to do blue, I'd get some green. So I'm not sure I want to do blue. But what I will do is just take this other piece and now it is fabric. Fabric is porous. So especially if it's a liquid paint like this, you are going to have the paint come through, because that's what happens. And let's see, I don't think I'll turn that one over like I did the other one. I'll let this one dry just like that. This one we'll add other stuff to. So you'll see. Let's see. So yeah, the blue, when it mixes, is gonna, this is the Payne's gray. So just kind of get that on there. And I'm gonna do this one on top again. This is a lot of times what I'll do, because then I get a 2-for-1. We like a 2-for-1. So, you know, if you don't want to do this, either wear gloves or put a barrier, like a piece of paper. Have your paper condom to protect you. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. You didn't hear. I didn't say that. That was your imagination. Okay. So, and that got some of the orange on there too as a background, which means that did too. Do I want to do that with the blue too? No, we'll just leave it like that. I could let this dry first, which would be the smart thing to do, but I'm not gonna. So now I'm gonna take the cheapest instant coffee I could find. Plus this had a little bit smaller grain. There were 2 of them. This one was like 70 cents or 60 cents cheaper than the other one. And so sometimes I'll wet it first. Doesn't really matter. I don't know if it matters. Let's wet the bottom half and see. It will move around a little bit the first time you do it though. See, it's blowing them. I don't want that. This one has a softer. So I'm going to get 2 totally different pieces, because this one I'm wetting the paints while they're still wet. And the other one I'm letting it dry. So So it's a 2-for-1, but totally different effects. So I'm trying to make this a really short video, just show the process. You already saw some finished finished pieces, and then I don't have the sun for this to dry fast either. So I'll probably just connect them so that you can see this after. I won't talk to you for an hour while it dries. But so now I'm just making sure I get all those coffee grounds wet. I can't remember the tune for Benny Hill. I wanted to do the Benny Hill tune so that when I speed this up, it'll have that sound. It'll be fun. It would be funny. Maybe just get my chipmunk voice instead. There we go. Getting it nice and wet. I tried not to put the coffee grounds too thick, although right there it's a little on the thick side. But that's where you get the sticky bits at the end, is if that ends up being thick. So you just, you know, I could have come and spread it out better before, but I didn't. And then are you getting water in your eyes? Probably, sorry. I wet that paper and then I lay it down, because there's a lot more ink and color on there than is probably going to be able to soak into the fabric. So we're trying to get a 5-for-1 at this point, because this will give me 1, 2, 3, a 4-for-1. I'm not pressing them down hard though, I'm just lightly, because I don't want to mess up what's down there. And then I'm also gonna wet this, and then I'm going to put the stencils on top of these while they dry, like I did the other one. And this just, I like brown and orange together. I know some people think orange is for alright, so this got some coffee grounds up on it and a little bit of blue. And I want a different one. And this one's ripped anyway, so I'm gonna set that on top of that while it dries. Doesn't have to touch every speck of it. Alright, and then there's oops, the fan's blowing. Oops, the fan is blowing. Alright, set that over there. I might have paint on the arm of my chair. I think it's paint I've used recently. Oh well. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing here. Just kind of spray it. It's only got a little bit of blue in there. I could add more. Could even just add just a little bit of spray inks in there. And where's another stencil? Because if I'm honest, I want another stencil. Oh, let's do... Oh, no, let's do... I don't know what to do. I like them all. I like all my stencils. This one has no paint on the back, though, so it would be safest. So I'm going to set my wonky net on top of that. And since we have no more sunshine, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ow! And I just hurt my ankle, so tomorrow when I'm like, why is my ankle hurt? I don't remember what it did. Just remind me that I hit it on the bread box that I haven't found a place for yet. So, let's see. I think I'm going to spray a little bit more where some of this coffee grounds is kind of thick still. Because once it's dry, you can't really peel it off either. It's kind of like glue. It glues onto there. It gloms on. Alright, and this should look lighter when it's dry, because that's how things work. That they look darker when they're wet and lighter when they dry. You know. So if I leave this right here, then when I come back, you should be pretty much in the same place to see how it dried. And here is what it looks like when it's dry. I think I was able to get most of the coffee crystals off. You probably saw it right after the other ones. So it definitely is lighter. And you know, the orange looks a little more brown. That still looks a little orange because, you know, I like that quinacridone nickel azo gold happening in there. I could make a giant journal or 2 smaller journals. And the papers, you want to know how the papers turn out. Oh, here's the other piece, which is also dry now. And these, whoops, I don't think so. So it does stick a little bit because of the coffee more than anything. You just got to be careful taking it back off, that's all. But yeah, oops, see, that is wanting to stick, but water will get that off of that, and I'm not worried about that. So that is just from setting this on top. No heat or sun, just put it over to the side over there. So yeah, if you're wanting to, you could do this with inks and coffee and water, you know, watercolors, food coloring, whatever you use to dye your paper. And then set these. Okay, didn't this one not have paint on it? It's the coffee that's the problem, but that's okay. If I get fuzzy paper, I'm okay with that. I just don't want to ruin my stencil. That's all. Because that's not a cheap stencil. Do this with your cheap stencils. No. It's not the stencil that would get ruined. It's the paper that would get ruined. And then I would just go use water to get the paper off the stencil. Or if I had to, could use some like Murphy's oil soap, or, you know, just soak the stencil. You just lose your paper if it gets stuck. But you kind of don't want to lose your paper because it's oh, a little brick. That's all right. Just use your washi tape or some E5000 to fix that. Or, you know, have your sister be the owner of the... yes. I mean, it was a struggle, but look at that. I mean, yes, the dyed paper would have been cool, but when you put the stencil on it, it's even cooler. It doesn't happen for me every time, but it seems to happen with this technique really well. And then I thought I would show you, I do have 2 covers started from some of the other fabric that I was making. This one I actually used a bunch of like dyes, like the Dilutions coffee dye, I think is what I had on that one. And this is another cover that I made. So these actually came off the same long strip that if you watched the short, you saw the big long strip that I made, and then I cut it down. So this one's a hardcover. There's the inside, or that could be the outside if you wanted it to be, and that could be the inside. Although I think you can kind of tell that's the intended inside. And I'm going to sew these, and then there'll be 2 covers. I just kind of liked this pink in here. I liked with that dark. I just like the juxtaposition of the bright pink with the grungy dark for that. So I'm going to make some more journal covers like this, but I'm also going to make some that are soft cover with the Amazon packaging in the middle. And I'll show you those during the week or over the next few weeks, however long it takes me to make them. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys have a delightful day, and I hope you enjoyed this. I've been having fun. I've been having fun playing with my canvas. I think you could do this with paper or any fabric, really. You got some muslin, try it. Just try it and see what happens. You might just have some fun. All right, have a delightful day, guys. Love you.